Gym Dad Fitness. Today we have the weigh-in and taste test for Aventador by Diamond Cut. Let's see if we can take the bull by the horns here. This is unopened, unsealed, so we can get a little bit of unboxing action. Came prepared this time. Nothing better than busting open a fresh tub of pre. Always going to be a good day. Powder's pretty fluffy. We'll get into this one, the story behind Aventador, but I've had this one before. It's resurfaced here of recent, so the texture looks the same as yours. I remember it kind of being kind of fluffy back when I went through a few tubs. You guys might have seen it in the background of my big board, but we'll see what the grammage here is. 11.8. So we'll get up to like 12. We'll see how it comes together here. Get a nice packed down level scoop. See what we're working with. All right. I got to 13 there. As I packed that one down pretty good. But 11.8 on the scale there. I mean, I'm not sure how everyone does their scoopers, but sometimes people just like slide it like that. I kind of pushed it up against the side a little bit and then slid up. I mean, it was a flat level. This cup's wet, so I'm gonna be having 13 no matter what. But let me grab a dry cup just to get you guys the accurate. So it looks like I'm gonna be trying this baby at 13. But if I don't push the side, let me just get that scoop. This stuff's pretty fluffy, so I wonder if I packed it in there pretty good. 12.5. So it does look like it's going to be coming in a little bit more than the 11.8. So if you want to measure it out, if it's a little too stout for you when you give it a try, I'm gonna give this thing a run on a flat, see how it does. I remember, like, for my last time using this one, it was nothing but good vibes and smooth sailing. So I shouldn't have any issue with it. A few grams over, especially since we'll break into the label, but no LVO, so we'll be okay with this. And just like I remember, just no colors or dyes for anyone out there that cares. The odds are, if you're watching a review on DMHA pre-workout, you shouldn't be too concerned. It is nice to have one less thing, artificial item coming into the old body there. But yeah, this clear color. And I have a tropical strawberry. They have a blue raz too. I feel like blue raz is like the modern day fruit punch. Everyone used to have a fruit punch flavor, and it's just overdone. So I always I don't nothing against blue raz. Everyone loved the blue raz stuff as a kid, but I always try to stray away from blue raz because it's just, come on now, it's 2025. We got to have a little, mix it up a little bit with the flavors. So at least I went tropical strawberry, even though I'm not the biggest fan of strawberry flavors, but yeah, it tastes just like I remember too. Might even be better than I remember with that tropical strawberry. Really good. No complaints whatsoever. You know, this thing, they nailed it. It's really light. It's kind of got like a nice, like, little subtle aftertaste. It's like sometimes these pre's, they taste really good, but then you're like, holy shit, feel like I just pounded down half 5 to 6 grams of flavoring, and it's like I'd almost rather have it be a little subtle and absolutely flavor blasted. But Aventador pre, in conclusion, on the way in, came in about a gram over what the scoop was saying, but no alpha yo in it. So we're just gonna roll with the flat level. We are crazy motherfucker stim junkies, and we take the scoops, and we, even if there is a gram or so over, as long as it's nothing out of this world, we're gonna roll with that. And we might even heap this one later on if we feel the need to. We need to amp it up a notch. But Stay tuned for the effects. Jim Dad Fitness, got a fun one for you guys here today. We got the Diamond Tech Aventador pre-workout. This for me, back 4 years ago, I'll put the review in the description. The Review Bros did a review on this one. They also had it in their tops for that year, but they really enjoyed it. Made some bold claims. So I got this one 4 years ago and absolutely loved it. I got a few. I think I got it right there. Aventador right there, right there. So the proof, I got the proof right here that I've used the Aventador. Looks like I went through 3 tubs of it, unless there's one behind me somewhere. But yeah, you can see I got what flavor the this right here that I have with me is tropical strawberry. Looks like I did the blue raz, the tropical strawberry, and that one looks like orange. Looks like orange research. That one was at that time it was labeled looks like a research product. I feel like that was the trend of the industry that time was to put like purple research or like green research and see if the FDA. And then now they're just like, okay, that doesn't work. So why do we even mess around with it? This one just says dietary supplement on it. But as you can see, exact same look and label. Even though there's been a few changes, this label right here, which I'll put on the screen, identical looking format and the way they went about it and their style and stuff. So definitely wanted to give this one a try. I picked it up when I got my dark horse as well. Just haven't got a chance to run it yet, and I've ran this one. Everyone's got their own opinions of how many times you run it. Me personally, I like to hear you guys' thoughts when you watch a review, if it hurts their credibility if they only run it one time, or do you want them running the whole damn bottle, or which is highly doubtful. I don't think anyone expects anyone to do that. Or like what's the magic number? Like me, I feel like for me to get a really good vibe of a pre-workout 3 times, the Bible mentions 3 all the time, so that's another signal. It's like 3 times seems to be the magic number. So I'd like to hear people's thoughts on like if someone only runs it one time, or if they bought a sample pack and ran it and didn't buy the whole tub. Does that hurt your opinion on the pre, or do you want to hear like someone running it? I always enjoyed I don't know, me personally, I like the fact that like TJ from Fitness Deals News, I feel like he always runs it a handful of times. But I know that some people, they don't want to be taking a pre-workout like this 3 straight days, or like if you're only doing one high stim day a week, you don't want to devote a whole entire month to it. So I do understand when people only take it one time and do the review. There's just so many good ones out there to get to. But me, the way I'm going to always do it is at least 3 times. This one, some of these ones that are really fun, like this one right here, I've ran this one, did this one today, and then a couple times, 2 times last week, and then time before. And I'll probably, I don't. This is a tough one to put down. I might have to run this one um, just for fun. Run it a couple times after this too, before I put on the shelf or in the deep freeze and save for a rainy day. But Aventador pre-workout, like I said, 4 years ago, this one came on the market, and then I saw this one. High Stim Ace did a review recently on this one, and I'm like, oh, there it is. That thing's back from the dead. I got to get my hands on this one. We'll go into the label right now. We got a 1 scoop at 11.8 grams, 25 servings, pretty solid right there. Got the anabolic activation matrix. Very interesting label. You can definitely see they're trying to like spook you out. They use like the big names for all the ingredients and stuff like that. So we have the M-methyl D-espheric acid and the tribulus, which is interesting. It's in like a lot of test boosters, supposed to help libido and kind of boost strength and stuff like that. So kind of interesting one for a pre-workout. And then after that, and then we have the blacklisted energy complex. We have the N13S trithyl methylhexylene, 400 milligrams, which, like I was saying, like they're just trying to get a little fancy, a little scientific with this label here to make people get a little spooked out. That's just fancy name for caffeine at 400 milligrams, straight caffeine anhydrase. And then ephedra at 30 milligrams. This one we start getting into the illicits here. Then we have the DMHA, DMHA at 330. I was good ready to read. I was like 30 milligrams. It's a low amount, but 200 milligrams. So it's pretty solid dosage. Seems to good stuff. The original actually did. I saved the label on this one, so this is cool. I actually did save this one. The original had the first two, and then it had the 137 trethyl methylhexylene as well, but then it had DMA at 100 milligrams and then DMHA at 50 milligrams. So there's a difference there. Is the original actually did claim DMHA. I'm so pumped to actually save the label on this one. I wish I would have done that for everyone, but I was like, I didn't it from the get go, so I had to stay consistent. And then this one, I think it's pretty similar. I'm just curious if this is the first time I've ever even looked at this and noticed this. Yeah, it's the exact same. Everything is the exact same on this, except for the original claim DMA at 100 milligrams, which is a shit ton there. I think Dark Labs was like 120, and then DMHA as well at just a touch of it. It's a little sprinkle on top of 50 milligrams. So this one, instead of giving you 150, just gives you 200 straight DMHA. And then they have the N-methyl tyrosine at 75 milligrams, and then we got some synephrine at 60 milligrams. And so that kind of wraps up the blacklisted energy complex. Those last two are just going to help with some mental focus and tie everything together with that deep at the start of the show. Obviously, the Ephedra, the DMHA, the one we all see and look at there, and then 400 milligrams of caffeine is a nice little sweet spot. Nothing crazy, but enough to wake you up and get you moving. And then the mind muscle fusion matrix. We got new pep at 10 milligram. FDA doesn't really love that one either. So we got a lot of illicits on here that they're not going to be huge fans of. That's going to help with like mental focus. You see that in a lot of nootropics. And then CDP choline, another one that's going to help with like the brain function and help out tying all those nootropics together there. And then we have the Immortal Endurance Pump Complex, which is funny when they get so intense with the names on these things, because to be honest, it's kind of a joke of a complex here. You're going to want to definitely maybe throw a pump product on this, but I'll get to that in the effects here. We got beta alanine at 3 milligrams, agbatine sulfate 1 milligram, arginine at 1.5 milligrams, citrulline malate at 1 milligram, creatine HCl at 1 milligram, and all there's 1,000 milligrams creatine HCl, citrulline mouse 1,000 milligrams messed up there. Our agmatine 1.5 grams, agmatine sulfate 1 gram. I guess I'm mixing up my grams, milligrams, but the label's on the screen for you guys to look at. And then taurine at 2 grams, and then niacin at 60 milligrams. And then they have the anti-crash matrix, which it's got vitamin C, L-DOPA, a bunch of B vitamins. I'm sure everyone here watching is going to just flip the page when we get to that part. But take the drink. Actually, someone asked me recently for a Smash like experience update, and I sent them like a time log, and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. Like, helps me mentally break down the pre-workout and help with my experience. So I wrote myself a little time log for this one as well. But 20 minutes in, took this thing at 3:20. 20 minutes in, energy starts kicking in. There's quite a bit of sense of urgency for not having. There's no alpha yo, no euhembine HCl, like I mentioned. But 400 milligrams of caffeine, you definitely start getting a little jittery and like sense of urgency and like needing to move, needing to go. And I took this one and kind of like sat and like felt this baby out, let it kick in. Sometimes that's kind of fun to do with the pre-workout. Like I'm pretty damn close to the gym, so if I just got to take one kid to the gym and I know I can get there in 15 minutes, it's pretty easy to estimate. These things take a long time to kick in, so I usually try to take them 40 minutes before. So I kind of sat and let this one like brew and simmer a little bit before I got up and started getting ready. Got a little work done, but sense of urgency kicks in 20 minutes in. You're shaking just a tad. Sense heart rate's increasing, nothing over the top. And then we have at the 30-minute vibe, good vibes coming in, start to take off a little bit. Shakes kind of dissipate after that point. No beta, I felt zero beta alanine on this thing. So I honestly I just looked at that energy performance complex and the fact there's 3 milligrams in this thing. I would expect it to feel a little bit, even though it's just slightly under the clinical dose, but I felt absolutely nothing beta alanine wise. So I don't give or take, that's not going to ruin a pre for me, but I do enjoy the tingles. But anyway, so sense of urgency is coming in. Then we got the good euphoric vibes hitting right around that 30-minute mark. Let me look back at my notes here. Then we got at 4 o'clock, so 40 minutes in, peak point for the good vibes. This is a happy pre-workout, floating, the complete dissipation of the jitterness at this point in time. The jitterness, I feel like, just is at the very beginning when that kicks in, gets you going, gets you moving, and which I think is really cool. The fact that it kind of dissipates and goes away. I don't know if it's the fact I started pumping some iron and moving some weight around, but right at that point, that thing, it completely dissipates. The anxiety, the jitterness. There's pretty much no anxiety. It was all just a little bit of handshaking, a little bit of heart racing, just a tad, and then that peaks. And then here we are. We're 40 minutes in, and then about 20 minutes later, so an hour in, that thing's still climbing. It's like it peaks, but it kind of like stays at that peak for a nice solid like 20 minutes, where you're just like floating, happiness galore, just a very positive, euphoric vibe, no issues whatsoever with freaking out or anything like that. I've taken this multiple times in different ways, mornings, evenings, and like I said back in the day, I took it so many times too. And at this point in time, we're feeling great. You're on cloud nine. There's no anger, there's no tunnel, like the tunnel vision focus is there, but the star of the show is definitely the happiness, the overall positive outlook on the weight training session and life in general, which I love. I love pre-workouts like this that just make you feeling good. Sometimes the rage aspect is kind of cool, but this is one of those ones that you want to call like your brother and tell him you love him, man. Say like, you're a good dude. Like this is one of those ones that just like overall makes you feel positive, mood elevated. You want to say hi to all your buddies at the gym, wish them the best, let them know that they're doing awesome, they're training hard, doing good. It's like, say something nice to someone, one of your buddies at the gym sometime, changes their day. You tell a guy like, oh man, you put on some serious weight, put on some in a good way, like put on some serious mass, we get pounding some damn, must be pounding some damn iron, that could go a long way and change their whole entire outlook on the day. So this is one of those pre's that's just going to make you feel a little bit more optimistic on life in general, and I love that with a good pre. It's like I'm training, I want to be happy, feeling good, but I love the fact some of those times as pre-workouts that are like that, they're so gentle coming in that like they don't quite like get you moving, get you going. This one doesn't slap. It's kind of like just a push off out of your chair. It's not a slap whatsoever. It's a gentle nudge on the back, like let's get the fuck going and get rolling. And so that's really like one of the things I like definitely took away of this one is I almost felt like this one might have had just a tad more sense of urgency than the previous one. And it's interesting because the caffeine was at the exact same amount. Maybe it's the fact that the DMHA might come in a little bit quicker compared to the original DMAA used, but a lot of things change, and who knows what the heck's on this label. But the floatiness and highness was just as equal. Like this is one of the first times that here I am like saying that the sequel of a pre-workout is better. I feel like things never live up to their expectations. Sometimes they're decent. Like I know like Jack 3D made a reformulation with some DMHA after they made a few that just absolutely sucked. There are different brands that are coming that use them, but and and then Mesomorph came out with like a DMHA one, I think, as well. And I know BPI has done the BPI's was damn close. Like I did the review on that one, and they had a pretty good sequel as well. But they never quite live up to the big name. I know Aries had a. I wasn't a, the Aries remakes were decent, but it's like I always just remember that Aries Titanium and how freaking good it felt. And so those people that had Aries White, I'm sure they felt the same way. And maybe some of you guys were like Uncle Eddie and then got your hands on the original Aries, and every single one after that was a letdown. But Aventador was not the case. Like it has exceeded expectations. I'm not going to say it was better just because it was such a long time ago. I can't really stack them up, but it's a similar experience. They're the same type, like same vibe of product. That one back then, it was good vibes, happiness galore. I love workouts like that because pre-workouts like that for like leg training, because the sense of urgency is not so crazy. It's not heart racing. But this one, yeah, like I was saying, like there's a little bit of heart racing, sense of urgency early on just to get you going, but then it completely dissipates. And here we are back to the log here. So about the hour mark, that thing is still climbing, no jitters, just pure euphoria. And then at hour 20, I'm still training. This thing's still at its peak. It's like, yeah, this is freaking awesome at this point in time. I'm like, this has got to be one of those illicit like pre-workouts that you want to buy multiple of and store in your deep freeze and save those babies in your stim junkie bomb shelter for when the FDA goes crashing down and forces us all to not use these babies anymore. Hopefully that day never comes. But all of you stim junkies out there, I've seen you on the Reddit with your stashes of pre's and stuff. We'll be ready for it. So we'll be laughing when everyone's drinking their C4. But and then at 5 o'clock, the baby starts. That's where I'm like, but I'm in my last couple sets. I've noticed it starting to dissipate at this point in time. Took this thing at 320. So here we are, hour and 40 minutes in, and I notice starts to decline a little bit. These things don't last forever, but I'm still feeling great, still feeling positive and happy. I want to do one more set, maybe two more sets, but it's not like one of those ones that you feel like a smash AMF or like what other one that I feel like I just could not leave the fucking gym. And I know a lot of people didn't really like the quality vitamins. Some people had bad effects, but that was kind of similar to. I just felt like I just could not leave the gym. Oh, Excelsior too, like one you could just train for 6 hours on. I wouldn't. It's not in the realm of that where you can't like put down the weights. You're good. You're happy. Like you're like I could do a few more sets, but I'm feeling positive, optimistic. I got to get back to my other aspects of life. It's not like you're so cracked out that you're just like I can't leave the gym. I gotta go. I gotta go. Gotta go. This is not going to have that effect. And I, finished my set, so I was feeling good. Still having enough energy to keep rolling, but this thing kind of tapers off gently. It's at that point in time, it kind of lays you down on a cloud. I was telling you, it gives you a nudge going into the workout. It is euphoric, building up till about the hour point. It peaks at that hour and then kind of steadily stays there for like 20 to 30 minutes, and then it starts declining slowly and lays you down nice and gently. So Aventador pre-workout is nothing to be scared of at all. Love this thing. 10 out of 10 euphoria. 7 to 8 on like focus. Sense of urgency, I'd actually give this thing like a 9, just because I'm gonna give this thing a 10 because I really like the way it comes in, even though it's not a slap you in the face. I give it a 10 just because I think they nailed it on the perfect amount of sense of urgency. Pumps were actually pretty damn decent. Like I had I did arms on this one day, most of the time with a pump product, but I wanted to get a vibe without it. And it's like you're so happy and feeling so good and wanting to keep training that you works yourself into the pump. And so like even though the formula is not that stacked, I would still give this thing like a 7 out of 10. There is a decent amount of it's still got 9.6 grams of pump stuff. Outside of the citrulline, they got the agmatine and arginine, and so it's not terrible. And a little bit of creatine. I don't know why pre's do that. It's like no issue with creatine HC. It's not. I'm not going to not buy a product because of it. It's like it's just kind of like turn the page to the next ingredient, maybe just to bulk up the formula, make it look more fancy. But anyway, yeah. And then the pump product aspect of it, I'll probably, like I said, maybe like a 7 or 8 out of 10. But overall, definitely a top shelf pre-workout. For sure, want to get this one before it's gone. I haven't seen too many reviews on the new formula, but you'll have to go back, check out some of the old ones. Like I said, I'll put the links below because they're entertaining as hell, especially at least watch. I'll put the minute mark on where to watch for Uncle Eddie's. Actually, I'll just add the clip, like I said, to the beginning of this film for you. But Jim Dad Fitness, like and subscribe. We'll keep trying to find some more hitters that you may have already seen and just kind of curious on what the effects were. The Aventador pre-workout, freaking love this one. This thing is happiness in a bottle right here. So want to snatch this before it's gone. I'm out. Jim Dad Fitness, doing my nightly sauna routine. I might make this a thing. I feel like my mind is clear after the pre-workout usage and the dust has settled. I can kind of like think about my experience. I just rewatched the experience review. I used it another time today. This is a different day than the usage video I made, and actually the mixing video, the review on the actual effects, and then this one all done on separate uses. I've ridden this thing, I think it's like 4 times now. So it's got a few trial runs here, and my final thoughts are just reflecting on it. I think everything, just rewatch the video back, and I think I'm still 100% in agreement with everything that was said. compare this one. A lot of people like to have something to compare it to. I don't think it's ridiculous to say it's like the same level as Wildfire, to be honest. Like the euphoric highs, like a kite, just buzzing, feeling good and happy. Sense of urgency slightly there, just enough to get you rolling. But tunnel vision focus, not crazy, but it's you got some focus. You're definitely gonna be focused, but like you won't really notice it because you'll be feeling so optimistic and positive. But I would put it in the same class as Wildfire, like on the same tier if you had to tier these babies out. But I mean, I'm not going to do any blasphemy stuff saying that this thing's the next dark energy or anything like that. Let's just leave the past in the past and talk about that. We're not going to get into like a whole Michael Jordan versus LeBron comparison and bullshit like that. But let me guys know if you guys like the post results, kind of like calm after the storm, when I get some more mental clarity. Overview, or maybe you might have thought it was GGH for a second here, busting the shirt off a bit. Might have confused you. I thought you were at the wrong channel. Anyway, I know I love GGH. She's awesome, man. But all right, Gym Dad Fitness, I'm out. Hope you guys like the review. It's gonna take you guys to my whole nightly routine. There's one other thing I forgot to mention with this one. This is another one of those pre's we've mentioned in the past before. The theory of snow coning the scoop. This is one of those pre's where you could definitely go ahead and snow cone it too, just to elevate the experience just a bit more. So for anyone new to the channel, just a rounded scoop. Just like to use a snow cone, like a snow cone top, and make it sound a little cooler. And also, I wanted to mention on the pre today, so I was a little worried that it wouldn't really quite have the same effects, because I usually try to avoid caffeine throughout the day, drink a Celsius in the morning because I was just really dragging, and was like, oh man, I don't know, this might give me a bad taste on the Aventador, and if it really is the all of that and up there with Wildfire. But man, this thing's still, even with that caffeine early in the day and then taking the pre at 4, it still hit just the same euphoria, like to the moon. So definitely one you want to try to acquire if you can. That's all I got for you, I promise.